You are Locked On Tigers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Detroit on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Probably not well if you watched that one. The Tigers lose 4-1 to the Houston Astros and drop their third straight series. All 4 runs from the Astros coming in the first 2 innings of this one. The only thing was to watch for whether or not the Tigers got no hit. And that's right, Ronel Blanco went 7 scoreless and, more impressively, no hit innings, but was yanked after that. And eventually the Astros gave up the no-hitter. Wenceel Perez came through for the Tigers. All right, we avoid the no-hitter. Yeah, go Tigers. But we're going to break down today's game. No offense for the second time in 3 games, with just a random 13-run game mixed in there yesterday. So I just don't know what to make of this team. Kenta Maeda was on the mound. We'll wrap it up with studs and duds. But as always, rain or shine. I mean that more figuratively than literally, because it's been more rain with this team. But regardless, we thank you for making Locked On Tigers Postcast your post-game destination. That's right. When the final out is recorded, we hop on here and get it going. Thanks so much for joining us and for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every day, free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, on this brand new YouTube channel, Locked On Sports Detroit. So I've Locked On Tigers in the baseball season, Locked On Lions postcast when football season comes around, and Locked On Pistons postcast for the hoop season as well. It's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. You got to make every moment more right now. New customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Any winning bet. So you pick the Astros on the money line, boom, 200. That's right, $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. Okay, the only intrigue in this one was, and the only reason to really stick around and not turn over to the U.S. Open, which I'm sure many did. Maybe it's that Sunday afternoon where you got options on things to watch, and a bad baseball team getting ready to lose their 3rd consecutive series probably isn't that high on the priority list. But if you watched it from start to finish, how's everybody feeling? Let me know in the comments. We got a lot of people joining our live Locked On Tigers Postcast YouTube feed, which we love. And really, it's about, I'm seeing the comments come in from Mark. We avoided being no hit with a laughing face. Yeah. Again, I said it in the open. That was really you can't make this up, how dysfunctional of a roller coaster this is following the Tigers day in and day out. And I said it in a funny tone yesterday because it was a 13-5 win. It was a season high for home runs, season high for hits. That it really is like a dysfunctional relationship with that crazy ex-girlfriend or ex-partner. Sorry, I'm sure, and include everybody here. But we've all had those instances where she loves me not. She's crazy. I love her. She's pretty. She's not. That's what this Tigers team is. And I said it yesterday, again, after a win that evened up the series and a chance to really, all right, let's go get a series win over the Astros. And then you get no hit for 7 in the 3rd inning before Wenceel Perez broke it up. But not really a ton to get into in this one. Kenta Maeda, obviously, as the starting pitcher, goes for the Tigers and gave up the 4 runs in the first 2 innings. But after that, it was at this point, it's just a Kenta Maeda start. Kenta, I guess. 5 innings, the 4 earned runs. So settled down after the rocky first 2 innings. But after that 3-run homer to Altuve, you had 2 outs. You walked the number 9 hitter, McCormick, and Jose Altuve, who I think is universally around baseball, and that's just speaking to different friends of other fan bases. I just don't think there's a lot of people that have anything endearing to say about Jose Altuve, but he is he showed his ability to go yard with the 3-run homer, and you get down 4-0 with the way the offense, and I guess you could say the way Blanco was throwing, that this game was over rather early. Other Comments to get to on today's Locked On Tigers postcast. Matt Wood says it's the treadmill. Yeah, that forever will be the analogy with this team. The roller coaster, win a couple games, lose a couple of games, flip flop. It's just, yesterday was laughably funny in the sense that a day after getting shut out, you had whatever it was, 18 hits. Maybe it was 19, whatever, but you just absolutely attack and boat race the starter Spencer Arrighetti, and Riley Green has the 6 RBI day and multi-home run game, and you're thinking maybe this offense has turned the corner. But baseball is just a sick game, and it's a weird game. All of it's weird. It just is what it is at this point. And now the Tigers here will continue the road trip with 3 against the Braves. No off day tomorrow, so they're right at it, right in action tomorrow. But with the loss, Tigers 34-37, 18-18 on the road, so 500 team away from Comerica Park. Astros move to 33-39 and 19-19 at home. So I saw a screenshot of the National League wildcard race, and there's honestly like 10 teams that are within a game or two. And it's that portion, it feels like, of the MLB season where there's a couple really good teams, there's a couple really bad teams, and there's just all these other teams just thrown in there that we're going to win some games, lose some games, whether they're playing good ball, bad ball, whatever it is, but just going to, kind of meddle along somewhere between a few games above 500 and a few games below 500 and right at 500. It's just, that's where Major League Baseball is at right now. And even when you look at the American League standings, because obviously the National League, I just said everybody is within reach. It seems like everybody, but team after team after team. And right now it's the Orioles, Royals, and Twins that would be in. Now listen to the teams that are all within 6 games: Houston Astros, Texas Rangers, Tampa Bay Rays, Tigers 4.5 out, Blue Jays 3.5 out, Red Sox 2.5 out. So team after team after team is still kind of in contention for the wild card against the the Twins holding on to that last spot. But it's the middle of June. Who am I kidding? Talking playoffs like this, but just more of a way to kind of get a grasp on just how everybody, it just feels like it's just a 500 baseball team or around there. But anyways, a couple more comments to get to. Demetrius McNeil, that's baseball for you. One day you scored 13 runs, and today almost get no hit. How bleeping rude. Yeah. Again, if you watched the game in its entirety, I applaud you, because I just felt like after Altuve hit that home run, like we could just fast forward. And other than the no-hitter, they're really, obviously the Blanco getting pulled, which I do want to touch on that because Rieger my good friend Jeff Rieger tweeted this one out, and I happen to agree with him regarding, and this isn't a Locked On Astros postcast. I am curious what the Astros, the fine folks covering the Houston Astros, would say, but Blanco deserved a chance to go for the no-hitter. He was yanked after he was 13 pitches away from his season high. Not giving a chance there is kind of disappointing. And I didn't want to see the Tigers get no hit. I'll be honest. I did have the Tigers' history of being no hit all pulled up, ready to go. The last time they were no hit was by Henderson Alvarez. Remember that crazy game at the end of the regular season in 2013. Sunday, September 29th. I think it was the last day of the regular season. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure. Marlins Park, 1-0 Marlins win on a walk-off wild pitch. Crazy game. And then they were no hit by Matt Garza on July 26th of 2010. And then not before that, it was 20 years prior, Randy Johnson no-hit the Tigers with the Mariners on June 2nd of 1990 at the Kingdome in Seattle, his first of 2 no-hitters. So how about that little history that we're mixing in there from time to time? All right, a couple people in the comments regarding the analyst. Yeah, Todd Jones. I do like Todd Jones as the analyst. Craig Monroe. I think he's got a couple of they've been doing this for the road trips. Only one analyst will travel, or they'll just assign the different analysts, whether it be Craig Monroe, Gibby. I don't think Gibby's doing any away games, but Craig Monroe, and then Carlos Pena. Yeah, Carlos Pena, Dan Petrie, Todd Jones. They just kind of have a analyst by committee. They all bring their own, strengths to the booth, if you will, but I'm not going to go too far into there. But I did enjoy Todd Jones and his commentary the last couple of games, because he has a lot to add, obviously, with his experience in the bigs as the former closer for the Detroit Tigers back in some of those glory years. But one segment in the books. And again, I love this team. I love baseball, but this weekend, yes, it was a roller coaster. Yesterday was okay. It was fun watching. Sure, you love when your team breaks out, but to get shut out in the opener and then, one run in the ninth, sure, but you were no hit for over 7 innings, 7 1/3 innings, until didn't break up the no-hitter until the 8th. Like, this just, it's a tough team to kind of get behind. And it's one day yesterday doesn't really change the bigger picture with this team. But we'll break down Kenta Maeda's start when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Locked On Tigers, just getting started. All right, today's episode is brought to you by America's #1 sportsbook, FanDuel. That's right. Summertime means baseball. The NBA Finals as well still going on, and the NHL Stanley Cup still going on as well. And you can bet it all on FanDuel right now. New customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. You just got to bet on any winning $5 bet. And look at that. You get $200 that you can use on everything from betting the finals MVP, who's going to hit one out of the park. And maybe you took the Oilers last night on the puck line, trying to fend off elimination against the Panthers. And that they did in resounding fashion with the 8-1 win. Any way you slice it, you got to visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and add a big win to your summer bucket list. FanDuel is America's #1 sports book. That's right. And today's episode is also brought to you by Prize Picks. You got to pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Prize Picks is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. You just can't beat it. For Prize Picks, let me tell you, they've got awesome promotions going on, always keeping things fresh. And with Prize Picks, you could turn $10 into $1,000 in a single game watching your favorite sports this summer. You can make a Prize Picks lineup in as little as 60 seconds. All you have to do, take a couple of options with your favorite players and pick more or less on their projected stats and watch the winnings roll in and try to earn 100 times up to your cash. That's right. Baseball season is officially underway, and there's no better way to cash in on the action than Prize Picks. Add your favorite players from the diamond to your Prize Picks lineups all season long. Also, don't forget with Prize Picks, they've got a nice little injury insurance policy so that if your lineup stays in play, even if one of your players gets injured, baseball games, if your player who registers 2 plate appearances or less, Prize Picks will have your back and not count that as a loss. That's right. It's an insurance policy that protects you because they love you and they care about you. So download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's downloading the app today. Prize Picks, America's #1 or America's favorite, most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. With Prize Picks, you pick more, you pick less. It's that easy. Kenta Maeda was on the bump for the Tigers this afternoon, who fall to 34-37, 4-1 final. The second time they've lost with no offense in the series. Third straight series they've lost. Now 18-18 on the road. Kenta Maeda gets hit with the loss. He's now 2-3 on the season. I think I say this every time. It feels like he should be way worse than that. But according to our box score here, that's where we're at. Jose Altuve had the 3-run homer. Yordan Alvarez, the other RBI, run batted in. And for Maeda, the 5 innings actually was a little bit longer than I thought he'd go. And he threw 94 pitches, 55 of them for strikes, but it just, without sounding like a broken record, it was just more of the Kenta Maeda stuff. At the beginning, he's just not really fooling anybody, but I guess credit to the bullpen. Tyler Holton came in 2 innings, scoreless. Jason Foley threw there in the 8th inning, scoreless. Didn't give up any hits after in the relief portion of the game for the bullpen. So we'll take that from the Tigers. But again, just not a lot of life, not a lot of pep in the step, whatever you want to phrase it for this team. It was a hard watch today. It was a hard watch this weekend, and just with a random game thrown in the middle where this team just, hit the cover off the ball. So that's about the way you can really slice it up. And as far as what's coming up next, take on the Braves for 3 beginning Monday. So that's tomorrow. Braves for 3, and then an off day on Thursday, which will be nice. The Tigers, I don't know. I'm not going to project what I think is going to happen, but just given that you never know with this team, because again, it's dysfunctional. It's like the crazy relationship where one day is good, the next day is bad, and overall, it just results in being a couple of games below 500. But then back home for games against the White Sox over the weekend, who we all know are absolutely terrible. So you got to believe, hey, let's go get a weekend sweep over the lowly White Sox, huh? Then the Phillies come to town for 3, one of the best teams in baseball. So that'll be fun before hitting the road for a 4-gamer against the Angels out in Los Angeles. So based on what we saw today, I don't know. I think we're back closer to what this team truly is. And I try not to overreact from one game to the next, but in a postcast setting, we got to talk about what we just saw. And that was another poor offense with, being absolutely lifeless for 7 1/3. And I hate having to continue to beat the dead horse and play the broken record, but that's where we're at. And Kenta Maeda seems like every start he has 1 or 2 batters that cost him, kind of somehow meandering through a lineup when he's not necessarily dominating or, fooling pitch or hitters and that sort of thing. And today it was walking the number 9 hitter on 4 pitches, and Altuve comes and makes him pay with the 2-out 3-run homer. But again, I'm not going to spend too much time on that, because if the offense, yes, they got the 1 run in the 9th, but to be no hit for 7 1/3, that becomes the headline. That becomes the story. And that's exactly where this team, that was the foot that this team put forward in today's game. So that said, curious where you're at with the team. Jason Walter in the comments just put, this team is so bipolar. That's such a great way to put it. Yeah, it really is. It's just, you can't make it up. I mean, it's bizarre. And, you might expect this kind of roller coaster inconsistency at a lower level, maybe like a little league team or something, but to just day in and day out have a legitimately no idea what you're going to get from this team is, I don't remember a team being this sporadic and unpredictable and just bipolar. Yeah. Up and down and left and right. So I'm kind of at a loss of words to try to put my finger on what this team is. But that said, I think most importantly for the Tigers, you look at what's coming up in terms of important dates around Major League Baseball with that trade deadline looming, and whether or not this team will maybe try to move some things around, add some pieces, be buyers because of the strength of the pitching staff, or if it's going to be a fire sale at the deadline, because make no mistake about it, Tarek Skubal and Jack Flaherty, for that matter, will demand quite the king's ransom in return. But anyways, we've talked about that quite a bit. On Monday, the Tigers will take on the Atlanta Braves. Reese Olson, who has really, really struggled his last 3 outings, is back on the bump. Would love to see him go out there, get back to pounding the zone, get back to getting swings and misses, get back to keeping the opposition off balance, using his defense behind him, and put forth a solid start. And maybe, just maybe one time, this offense will back him up, because that really, really happens. Max Fried for the Braves. All right, we'll tie a bow on it with studs and duds. Don't go anywhere. We wrap up the weekend in just a moment. All right, Locked On Tigers Postcast is brought to you by the pros at Supply House. That's right, visit supplyhouse.com, because let me tell you a little thing about Supply House. You can get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trade, supplyhouse.com. Supplyhouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product information to help you get the job done right. We're talking a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands. And get this, your order can be delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. There's no blackout areas. It's great. Let's say, for example, maybe you've got MLTV and they black you out. Yeah, there's no blackout when it comes to Supply House. They are shipping from coast to coast. If you need help with an order, you can get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business, and talk to a real person every time. And they're very friendly. They're not like me after the Tigers lose their 3rd straight series and in a sour mood. No, they're very, very friendly. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining supplyhouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. So join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at supplyhouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at supplyhouse.com. All right, we tie a bow on this one with, I'll be honest, there's not really much left to say when it comes to this series for the Tigers. 2 duds and 1 stud of the weekend. So appropriate there for studs and duds. Yesterday was fun. The first game of the series, not so much. Second, okay, we had a good time with a 13-5 win. And then today, no hit through 7 1/3. So, I just don't know. I mean, I'm not going to let it, derail my Sunday. We're going to enjoy it as we ride it out. Oh, man. Johnny Bryles in the comments. Speaking of not knowing, look at Green today and yesterday, 2 completely different players. Yeah, we honestly could go up and down the lineup and look at the box score compared to yesterday to today. And Riley Green is a great one. 0 for 4 today with 3 strikeouts. Yesterday, after probably the best game of his big league career, 4 for 5, 6 RBI, 2 home run. And that's in comparison today, 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. Baseball's a weird game. You really can't make it up. And Riley Green, I think it's an interesting conversation around him, because you don't want to not even blame, but it's tough to be critical of Riley Green when for a large portion of the season, he has been one of the few guys that you look to and say, all right, here's somebody that's bringing it on a day-to-day consistent level, but yet he has these bursts where you think, all right, that's a guy we're centering our rebuild around. He's a good young core player. He's maybe even an all-star when it comes to representing this team at the all-star game. And then he has stretches where he disappears, or days like today, just not unable to follow up such a breakout performance from yesterday. And so it's part of the maturation and development to be that consistent middle of the lineup force that comes to play every day and doesn't take any plays off defensively. I know at times we've been critical of his defense as well. And just, it looks like he just doesn't move athletically as well in the field as he used to when he first came up. But that said, yeah, today after a breakout career day yesterday, just lifeless at the plate. And then, I mean, Colt Keith yesterday, another good example. Colt Keith yesterday was 4 for 6, so a 4-hit day for Colt Keith. And you look at him today, and it's an 0 for 3 day. And after that, I've just I just got nothing. There's zero consistency. There's zero, I guess, commitment to putting together a big league at bat. I mean, it's kind of a double palms up day for you here following the Detroit Tigers, in my opinion. But hey, I want to thank everybody that has subscribed to Locked On Sports Detroit. When we're launching a new YouTube channel, we need your help. So if you've enjoyed the coverage of the Tigers so far this year, my first season doing the Locked On Tigers postcast, go ahead and tell a friend about the channel. We would certainly appreciate that, as well as the subscriptions as we continue to try to grow our audience. And while you're at it, don't forget about Locked On Tigers with Scott Bentley, week in and week out, or day in and day out, every week, I should say. Does a tremendous job there. And Locked On has launched a 24/7 sports streaming channel for you that is free and available. It's the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. It's also available on Amazon Fire TV and the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today, here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with local experts of the Locked On, plus national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today, now available on the free Fire TV channels app. All right. I want to thank everybody, as always, for making Locked On Tigers postcast a part of your day. Up next, 3-game series on the road against the Braves in Atlanta. Reese Olson will go tomorrow for the Tigers, which, that's 3 straight series losses. So, gotta figure it out. Otherwise, this season is trending closer and closer to see you later time to do anything besides watch baseball in the middle of the summertime, which is sad, sad, sad. So Ronel Blanco goes 7 innings of no-hit baseball today. The Astros give up the no-hitter in the 8th with 1 out. Wenceel Perez breaks it up for the Tigers. And I don't even know if I said this, because the Tigers did get a run there in the top half of the 9th when Andy Ibanez doubled home Mark Canha. So I should have said that earlier. I guess I was so frustrated with this offense that it took me to the very end of the episode to finally say that, the Tigers did get a run there at the end of the game. But hopefully better on Monday, tomorrow. But enjoy the rest of your weekend. As always, I appreciate everybody tuning in. I wish we had more exciting things to talk about like we did yesterday. Maybe it'll be this bipolar team will come back to being exciting tomorrow, because it seems like that's the kind of rotation we're on. Good days, bad days, somewhere in the middle. Today was a bad day, but hey, they avoid being no hit, so they still have not been no hit since 2013, back by Henderson Alvarez and the Marlins. So at least we got that going for us. How about that, right? Well, have a wonderful rest of your weekend, everybody. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Locked On Tigers Postcast.